quality is so hard to pin down to my mind these days. I just find, maybe it was always the case, but now I just find I buy something that doesn't work. I buy everything that doesn't work. So when something actually does work, people will reward you with loyalty for that. And maybe that's always been the case, but I think it's even more so now, because when you find a blender that works, so this is me hugging a blender because I think it was like our magic bullet bit the bullet, our hand blender died like a grisly death with frozen mangoes all around it. We had tried so many blenders. We got one where we had like air miles points and we just had to use it, and we said, okay, this blender looks okay, and they were horrible and they all went to landfill. They were not things to repair, and then we finally got a nice blender, and we love that blender. And I use that blender to make a smoothie every day, and when I look at it, I'm happy. I think my smoothies taste better because I'm just so happy to have a blender that works. And the thing is, yes, the company is not going to get another $600 from me in this lifetime, because hopefully this blender is built to last my lifetime, but I will tell my friends when they come over, I'll say, this is a really good blender. It doesn't break. It works. It can make soup. And they might buy that blender. So we just have to begin to adopt our revenue models and our business structure to embrace that. And I don't think that I know how to use PowerPoint. I don't think that this should all be heaped on the shoulders of the consumers, but I think it's a very reciprocal thing. And I think as we become better slow shoppers, the producers will respond in kind. They'll say, people don't want to buy this crap. I'll make a better widget, and everybody will work together, and the world will become a happy place, and we'll all hug each other. And I also think slow shopping is just this little tiny mechanism. It's not a huge, I mean, at the end of the day, probably how many people are going to embrace the tenets of slow shopping and go about their day thinking I'm only going to purchase things slowly and mindfully. But I think if they start embracing these ideas, it's just a little thing. And if you read Robert Cialdini, he's the founder of influence theory, persuasion theory, and I'm reading his book now, The Small Big. It's this idea that a little tweak can make a much bigger change. And so if people are out there just thinking, okay, I'm not going to buy this $2 poorly made thing, I'm going to put some thought into it and buy the thing that's really well made, that is just a small change on the way to bigger changes. And once people make one decision, they tend to want to be consistent. Consistency is a big thing in persuasion theory, that like once I make one decision where I say, oh, I'm the kind of person who buys sustainable things, I'm the kind of person who shops slowly, I want to be that person. So if I'm already on that path, if I buy something from Old Navy after that, then I feel like I'm a hypocrite and I'm not being true to myself anymore. So it's just all part of the process of becoming, if you get someone just to start thinking about it at one level, hopefully we can affect greater change, which is my actual goal, to overthrow the system. And in an institutional framework, I think also if you feel like you can't get things done in a big institution where, they don't want to, there's a lot of waste and they don't want to make change, I think, you can start with the small things and the slowing things down and thinking about ways to make things more sustainable.